evening all. I wanted to come to you with something that I've learned over the years and have seen over the years with not only myself but individuals that I've worked with. We're constantly inside, we're constantly with our computers, we're constantly in a car, in a plane, in a train. It just seems like we're always in the dark, we're never outside. And it seems like that it's always darkest right before the dawn. And during that time, and what I've been told by many, many wise men is the darkest before the dawn, always remember that. Because when you're doing donuts in your neighbor's front yard, it's probably the best time that he'll never notice that you did it. Guys, I'm just kidding. But in all honesty, I wanted to talk to you about something that I've done and that I've seen that's very informative for me to be able to get outside and get outdoors. Mr. Bill Butcher gave a great representation on motorcycles.com. He talks about how the evolution of the four-wheeler and discusses about how it came out and how it started. And as it was something very simple and then became a three-wheeler and then became a suspension, then became racks, and then became something that farmers were using and then ranchers were using, then it just exploded in the 80s and the 90s. It was just something that truly did speak to people, and it, as it does me, it speaks to me to be able to get out and to be able to get that adventure and get that freedom. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Let's talk about our first point. First point is talking about that stress relief and getting outside. You know, it's an interesting fact. Scientific Daily actually talks about they're doing a study. They did 140 studies on 290 million people, not just here in the US, but worldwide, discussing it, as I call it, a green space. They actually talk about getting outside, being involved in nature, and getting out in the wilderness and or living next to it and by it. You know, it was interesting, some of the things that they talked about is it actually can make you feel good. It actually makes you feel happy. One of the other things that it talked about is that it can relieve stress. It can relieve headaches. It can release diabetes. It can also lower blood pressure. You know, another really, really neat fact to also kind of go along with that, UCLA and Harley Davidson actually worked together on a project. And they actually have came out just recently, you'll have to look this one up, just recently came out with an article about how riding and motorcycles, and then there's particular Harley Davidsons, of course, that it actually is just the same as doing a workout. It's amazing what it can do for you to actually heighten your senses and actually make you feel better, not only from the outside, but on the inside. They actually said not only is it like a workout, but it actually will reduce the number one stress hormone, which is cortisol, and it actually will make you feel better. So from a health benefit, just think about that, guys. What an awesome thing that ATVs, that motorcycles, four-wheelers can be able to do to be able to help you feel better and get outside. Next, the next step that I want to talk about, and my number two, is actually about the freedom. So on this one, I'm going to take this on two things. So one, of course, all you motorcycle guys out there, I'm not going to forget about you, I promise. And we'll talk about you guys right off the bat. So first off, motorcycle guys, like we said about Harley Davidson and UCLA, it's amazing how it can make you feel better, but it also gives a freedom. They've even talked about how it actually, for guys, it can really help to bring out that freedom and actually bring families together and help reduce stress. So now number two part of that is the freedom of what it brings to others. Now I want to bring this down even to a little bit deeper than what we normally think of. You and I and people that can walk and we can be able to talk, we can be able to get out, we have that mobility. Think about those that don't have that mobility. Think about those people that don't have those opportunities in their life. And that is what I wanted to talk about on freedom. They actually have a bike that came out it's just evolved over time. There's a gentleman by the name of Todd Neal. It's actually called a terrain hopper. He actually bought this in the UK and was the very first individual in the Americas to actually purchase one, and is now helping to bring them here into the States to help individuals that do not have mobility and have never had the opportunity to get out and actually enjoy those benefits that other people are getting to enjoy. Vitamin D from the sun, different other aspects. And he's talked about how this has made such an improvement on his life and how it's really meant so much to him. And it's discussed, the one story he discussed was being able to walk with his wife on the beach. And having that opportunity to have that ATV, that cart, to be able to get him to mobilize had really made a difference in his life. And then now, in turn, like I said, he is now going to be a dealer here in the States to try and get things going. So what an inspiration it is to be able to have that opportunity, to be able to have that feeling. So I challenge you with that, and I'm going to follow it here at the end, and I'm going to finish with this, is guys, I challenge you, get that opportunity to get outside, get that opportunity to enjoy the sunlight, find you an ATV, be safe, be smart, but most importantly, let's go out and ride. Let's go.